All right, welcome back. We're going to be talking entertainment now. My next guest is someone, if you're on social media, you definitely know him. If you're a fan of Nollywood, you probably will remember him. Williams Uchemba is an actor. And are you an Instagram comedian? Is that the right title for you? Or is social media?
Well, I mean, I would like to call myself an actor because an actor is one who is, able to play.
That.
Yes. So, okay. But right now, because of the era we are living in, we are being referred to as the social media influencers. So yeah, I take that.
How did that start? Because I watched you as a child actor in Nollywood, which we'll get to, and then I noticed you started doing some work with the United Nations, and then one day I saw your skits. And then it has now become a thing. Was that intentional? No,
it wasn't. Actually, I've always had this funny thing. There is a part of you that is only your wife and your siblings that know, right? That one you don't bring out. So I've always, I like to think I was funny. But when I started, when I realized the essence of life, that you should give nothing to the grave when you die, nothing but carcass. What that means is you should empty everything you have. Don't hold back anything. I started putting out everything, and I did the first skit, and funny enough, people liked it. A lot of people were laughing, and I think what made me become more involved in it was the impact it was causing. It wasn't just making people laugh; it was touching people's lives. This woman told me how she reached me and she said her mom has been sick with cancer for the past almost 1 year and hasn't had any reason to laugh. But she watched my video and she's been cracking up, and everybody in the hospital is crying because of my video. Thank you, William. So it wasn't just for me about making comedy. It was more like giving stuff to help make people's day better.
Yeah. Let's go back to like I said, to the child acting now. You started acting at what age?
8. I've been in the entertainment industry for 22 years now.
So you started acting at 8, then you disappeared, I believe.
Yes.
Briefly. Was that school? What happened?
School. To be very frank, acting affected my primary and a little bit of my secondary school because from my calculation, I've done well over 70 movies plus during those periods. Some of them are school sessions, so sometimes I have to leave school to do that and all that. So it affected me, I realized. So when I was getting to the university, I went to University of Nigeria in Soka. I said, see, anything not doing is not doing well. Just take out time, bring out 6 years, 7 years, do this thing, then you can always go back, and that was what I did.
Okay. Then how did the United Nations come into the mix? Because you were in the Youth Parliament.
I am the Deputy Nigerian Youth Representative to the United Nations Youth Assembly. So I studied international relations. I didn't plan to. I was going to study theater arts, but that didn't work. They gave me history and international relations.
It's only in Nigeria here they give me.
Yeah, they gave me. But when you make it, I got, right? Yeah, they gave me history and international relations. And when I finished my UNN, my degree, yes, I did a program in the UK for about a year. It was during that period when I came back. I worked a little with the federal government. I actually opened a school, an entertainment school, Protestant School of Entertainment, and the past administration loved the concept. So the federal government, through the Subsidiary Investment and Empowerment Program, bought in the idea. But after that period, and I had to. It was one of those conferences I went to in New York that. I actually met who is now my boss, Barrister Aminu Danladi, and he liked the concept. So the office I occupy is by appointment, right? And there was a problem with the person in the position as of then. A lot of funds, a lot of stories, and it happened to be that I was there when when they were about to let him go. So he liked the vibe, like, why don't you be my deputy? I was like, that's what I was born to do. So,
so how long have you been doing that for?
For next year will make me 4 years now.
Okay. So you basically had to relocate and you were living in New York?
Yes, I was always traveling back and forth. It's usually winter and summer, but in between you have a lot of meetings. And I always, travel, and I was like, okay, since I can be here and do other stuff,
so where do you live now?
I live in
Nigeria. Where do you base?
Now, I live in Nigeria and I live in California as well. Okay. It's not like I'm in a particular place. And you know how this works. You're an actor. You don't necessarily have one place you stay. If something calls you to be in South Africa for 6 months, you have to. Yeah. Exactly. So for me, I'm always in Nigeria, but because I don't post every time I come back, people don't know. But yeah, I'm in Nigeria and I'm in California as well.
Are you still actively an actor? And I'm talking about film. I know what you do on social media could be termed acting.
Yeah.
On a different scale. But are you still actively in Nollywood?
Not as active as I used to.
Why is that?
To be very frank, time. I'm involved in a lot of things that it almost doesn't give me time. That is in one hand. And the second thing is the system. You know, I grew up in the entertainment industry, and there are a lot of things that still hasn't balanced well. Someone called me and said, I want to use it for this movie, and I want this to be, it's going to be for how many months? Like, okay, so what's your budget for this thing? And he was like, I'm going to pay you so and so amount. So you want to keep me away from my work, my business for... So it wasn't going down.
The finances are still not healthy
enough.
Not
at all, not at all.
Have you seen any improvement even since when you left the industry?
I'll be lying if I say I haven't. I grew up with DV cam when we used to use VHS.
What kind of finance now? Like the pay actors are getting? Because I've heard someone actually say there's literally been no increase in pay for actors for probably a decade. Do you think that's true?
Yes. I really do. I honestly do, as a matter of fact. I wasn't even referring to that aspect.
Yeah.
I was still talking about
technicality.
The technicality. Yeah. You see better pictures, better sound. They are improving.
But the pay is stagnant.
So the pay is still what it is. I mean, I'm yet to see someone that gets, except is someone that has a private project that just has money.
Gets funding.
Yeah, exactly. But with the system, I honestly don't think that with what they pay actors, from what I've heard, it can't keep them. And that is why you see most of them in a situation they are not supposed to be.
Yeah.
I wish something can be done about that.
You're talking about money now, and I just want to segue into something else. You seem to do a lot of charity. You give out, you help the less privileged. You get very sort of heavy with that on social media. But there's been a lot of questions about how you get this money. People always say, but he's not actively acting. How much is he getting from his Instagram post? Is this United Nations salary? I mean, you tend to do a lot of giving. Where does the money come from?
And who said I'm rich? I'm not rich. That is the problem I believe we have had in Nigeria, where we feel we need to have a lot to help. Those people I'm giving money, how much is it? Some of that money is money we use for lunch. The boy I put in school, I sent back to Akwa Ibom, I picked on the street. Everything I spent on that boy is how much? So, you see, when I get that, where does he do, where does he... I ask, how much are we talking about here? There are people that have that money more than, but because we need to master the act of giving. Giving is not necessarily how much you have, but your heart.
And the intent is what's most important.
If I have 10,000 naira, I can give out 8,000 and keep 2K, if you ask people that know me.
Okay, let's take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll find out what your plans are going forward and if you're ever going to be back in Nollywood actively.
Okay.
We'll see you guys in a minute.